This is Support is Sexy, episode 365, and we're continuing our series on the 12 lessons of sexy. Today is day 2, and the lesson is live the question. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 365 of the Support is Sexy podcast. I am thrilled to have you here because you know it just would not be the same without you. And today we are continuing our series based on the 12 days of Christmas, sort of, but it's our 12 lessons of sexy. And I am sharing with you each day a new lesson, an old lesson, a tried and true lesson from the podcast for the past year and a half. I'm adding in 2016 since we started in 2016, but I'm sharing lessons with you that really stuck with me, that resonated with a lot of you. You've either emailed me about it or told me what it did for you in your life. So I'm recapping those and sharing those with you over the next 12 days. Now, our day 1 was on Friday, if you're listening to this in real time, episode 364, where I talked about the importance of saying yes. We hear so much about how to say no, which is valid and necessary, but I like to focus on the possibilities available if you learn to say yes. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast more than, I would say, 2 weeks, you've probably heard me mention this next lesson. I love to share the wisdom that was dropped in episode number 26. So very early on, this was in 2016, episode 26 with Intensati creator Patricia Moreno. Intensati is a fantastic fitness routine that Patricia Moreno created. And in that episode, she dropped this lesson: live the question. The importance of learning to live the question. And I got to tell you, when I do interviews, whether I do interviews on other podcasts and people ask me this question about my quote unquote favorite, or when I'm mentioning it here, I don't have favorites because I love all of the women who have said yes and been featured on the podcast. And I love everything that they shared. So no favorite children here. But I will say that episode 26 with Patricia Moreno, where she talked about the value, the importance, the life shifting idea of living the question, really is the one that I respond to, or that I respond with the most often. Now, if you did hear me mention it in the past, you may have wondered, because I usually don't go into deep detail about it, what does that mean? Live the question. Sounds great. What does it mean? Here is a lesson that I took from what Patricia said. You have to learn to not be afraid to not know the answer. And if you're an entrepreneur, you are a problem solver, right? That's the reason most of us become entrepreneurs. We see a problem or a space or a void. We want to fix it. We want to fill it. That is how the entrepreneur and the creative mind is. We are about answers. So it's very difficult for us a lot of times to be in the space of not knowing, to be okay with living the question. I know if you're like me, at night sometimes my mind is racing and I'm thinking about all of these solutions and ways I can do this and do that. I try to stay away from that quote unquote make it happen language. We're trying to get away from that, right? Because I believe you do whatever you can and things happen. But there is a part of me, though, that feels like, how can I make this happen? How can I do this? What's the answer? What's the answer? That not knowing can sometimes, if you're not in the right space, if you're not grounded, can be unnerving. This is why there's so much value in meditation. This is why I make sure that in whatever way I can that I exercise, because exercise helps keep you grounded and releases some of that tension and anxiety. So there are a lot of things you can do for that. But what has been the best for me, honestly, in the past year and a half since I really accepted this idea is living the question. So here's what I think living the question is. You decide that you're going to ask the question, whatever it is, whatever you're looking to do, whatever you're looking to create. If you don't immediately know the answer of which way you want to go, which direction you want to do, You ask the question and you let it be. You let it be out there, however long it needs to be. You just have it with you. You know that you're asking it occasionally. I even ask my questions aloud once in a while just to remind the universe, I would like to know this answer. This is the question. Tell me what you think, right? So since I started living the question, I will tell you it has never, ever failed. I've used this practice for everything from what kind of series I want to create on the podcast. That's how I came up with this. I was living the question, thinking, what should it be? I believe the 12 Days of Christmas song was playing who knows wherever I was at the time, since it's the holiday season. I thought of the 12 lessons of sexy, and here we are, here it is. Now that might sound like a quote unquote small thing, but it was something that I was living at the time. I wanted to create something that I could do during this period that was a series for you all at the end of the year. And as I mentioned on the last episode, Mercury is in retrograde, so I'm trying not to do as many interviews that aren't already scheduled. I just want to bring you what I know in the best way I can without too many communication interruptions, right? So I was living that question. What kind of series can I do that would make sense over the next few days on the podcast? This is the result of living the question. I've also lived the question when thinking about what kind of move to make next in my business. The podcast is growing. I appreciate you all. It does not work without you. Like I say, it wouldn't be the same without you. But the podcast is growing. Things are going well. But what are the next steps that I need to make to really grow my business? I have a big vision for my business. I know the things that I want to do, but I don't have all the answers. So I have to live the question. And one of the things that I truly felt like I needed to do just from doing hundreds of interviews with women entrepreneurs who talked about their mentors and coaches playing such an important part in their lives was find a coach. For me, the thing was every coach or person that I want to work with, they have a program, they have this and they have that costs thousands of dollars. Upwards of $5,000 was one program that I even looked at, which is fantastic. If you can invest in that, all of that great stuff. For me, I'm looking for someone who can work one-on-one with me over a course of time, who can be invested in my success, and I can obviously invest in my success, but it's not necessarily a certain program or a certain amount that you have to pay in order to participate in whatever this program is. Now, I am all for people charging for what you do and charging for what you're worth and getting what you're worth and all of that. So I never make any kind of beef, if you will, about what someone charges for something. My thing was finding a coach who was aligned with me, who can work with me in the long term, not necessarily, again, just for a program, just for a certain amount of time. It just had to feel right. I didn't have that answer, especially because, well, not that you can't work with a coach anywhere, but I've relocated to Atlanta. I don't know a lot of people here just yet within the space that I want to work within. So I had to live the question, and speak the question. I'm looking for a business coach that does this. I'm looking for a business coach that does that. To the people that I do know here, that I know in general, this is what I'm looking for right now. This feels right. This is the question I'm living. I don't have the answer. One night, though, going out to dinner with my attorney, Andy, and his friend and his cousin, Jill, who's fantastic. We went out to dinner. We had a conversation. I mentioned to Jill that I was looking for a business coach and all of the things that I was looking for in a business coach. And she mentioned that she had worked with a coach who was here in Atlanta, Georgia for 10 years. 10 years. Now remember, the question I was living, who is a coach that I can work with over an extended period of time, 10 years, 2 years, however long, not for a certain program. It's pay as you go, almost like therapy. When you go to therapy, you pay as you go. Each session that you have, you pay, and the person helps you along the way. Who is that person? Living that question. Here comes Jill with an answer. 10 years she's trusted this woman, and she talked, of course, about the results that working with this woman has given her. I've been in touch with this person, and now I cannot wait to meet with them. We have something on the books for next week, actually. But this is just an example of living the question. How would I have known? I wouldn't have known, actually, who this woman was unless I was living the question and not afraid to speak the question and just be open to the answer. If it didn't come at the table that night, fine, but I would have been out there, or who knows, they may have mentioned it to me later. You can't be afraid to not know the answer. You have to live the question. So for you, when you're looking at how to live the question, here's what I suggest. First, write it down in an empowered way. Not, woe is me, I don't know what to do, I'm lost, I don't have the answer. The universe already knows that. You don't have the answer, you got to figure it out. But ask the question, I am looking for a business coach. Who is the right person that is for me, who can help me move my business forward and create this vision that I have of? Write out your vision, whatever it is. You might not know exactly what that person can do for you, but you have some idea even within your question. Write an empowered question in your journal, on your mirror, on your wall, wherever you need to. Write it down so you can see it and that the universe can feel it. I'm being very woo-woo now, so just rock with me. But so that you can see it and you can feel it. And then speak that question out loud to yourself and, as I mentioned, to people that you know and trust. But when I say people you can trust, I don't just mean people you think can help you, because you never know. Just let it be people you trust. When I had a conversation with Jill and I was mentioning to her about the business coach, she may have had an idea. Sure, of course, I might have thought that, but I honestly was just sharing as we were talking about the space we were all in at the time. And then here's the answer. Would I have gone and thought, oh, I got to make sure to remember to ask Jill about a business coach? No, that wasn't on my mind. So speak it aloud to people you trust, but not necessarily just people you think can help you, because you don't know who can help you. You don't know who they know who can also help you. And then if you're someone who believes in a higher power, I will say, pray for the divine answer to come to you. I believe in that. I believe in praying for the answer. I believe in sharing that question in the same way, in an empowered way. This is what I'm looking for. Send the answer my way. Whatever this looks like, please let me be, this is part of my prayer, please let me be aware enough and in touch enough to recognize the answer when it comes, right? Because sometimes the answer comes and you're too busy and focused on what you think will be the answer, or that you think it's coming from somewhere else. But you need to create space for the answer, and don't be so quick to judge how it shows up or from whom it comes, right? Again, you don't know where it's going to come from. So keep your eyes, your ears, and your mind open. You never, ever know. And if you get the answer, we aren't always sure, even though I say my prayer for what I want to feel when the answer comes, or my ability to recognize the answer when it comes. Sometimes you miss it. You're human. You're focused on other things. You're distracted. Sometimes you miss it. And when an answer comes, if you're not sure about it, here's what I would say consider. Does this answer seem like it's one that can help you move forward? Is this going to help you move forward, or is it a distraction? You got to be aware of that shiny apple syndrome, right? You don't want to go off path just because, ooh, that looks exciting, like it could help. Does it really feel like it can move you forward? If you don't know, give it some more time and space to think about it. Another question, does this answer support your why? Meaning the reason that you're doing your business, your move, whatever you're up to, this relationship. When the answer comes and it feels like the answer, ask yourself, does this help me move forward? And does this support my why? And then the third question I would ask when that answer comes up, interesting, right? These are the questions for the answer. The third question I would think of, does this answer align with who you want to become as a person? Not just who you are as a person. It should, of course, resonate with who you are as a person. And that would be the only reason probably that you're considering it. Something about it resonates with you. But does it resonate with who you want to become as a person? So for me, when thinking about the business coach, that's not just for who I am. I'm thinking about the vision of who I want to become. I know the kind of entrepreneur I want to be. I know the kind of impact I want to make. Of course, the universe can dream a bigger dream than I could ever dream for myself. But I got an idea, and I have to think about the person I want to become. And does this answer align with the person I want to become? Because if I keep doing the same thing that I've been doing, I'm going to keep getting the same thing that I've been getting, right? So you got to think, does it align with who you want to become? All right, so that's my thing about living the question. To hear more about Patricia's journey of living the question, where she really talked about how it's a great story. I'm not even going to spoil it for you. Listen to episode 26 of the Support is Sexy podcast, where she talks about her journey of creating the Intensati workout, what it was going to become, how she didn't have the answer, and she lived the question. It really, as you can see, I'm very passionate about it. I give her credit all the time, and it is something that I have adopted into my life. It was a powerful lesson that has stuck with me. So my advice to you, live the question with wonder and fascination rather than living with anxiety and angst because you don't immediately have all the answers. Live the question with wonder and fascination. Try it. Let me know what you think. Let me know how it goes. I'm telling you, it's one of the most freeing practices that I've ever done. Live the question. All right, so I hope you got something out of that lesson. Again, let me know. Social media at Elayne Fluker. Email me, Elayne@ElayneFluker.com. Let me know the question you're living right now. I might not have the answer, but I can put that energy out there and help you find the answer. It will come to you, trust me. And that's the thing too, if you're in a space, real quick, if you're in a space where you feel unsure and uncertain, I've been there, and in some ways I am there. I don't know what to do, what's going on. Like with this business coach, how can I grow this? How can I do this? How can I do that? Living the question can be scary, but trust, you have to trust yourself and trust that it's going to show up. Just keep moving forward. You can't stand still though and find the question. You can have moments of stillness to listen, but you still need to be in motion. So don't be afraid to keep going, even though you don't know the answers. Now, a quick bonus for you before we go. I am super excited to be working now with Audible and to be able to offer you a free gift. I think I'm really excited too because it's the holiday season. It's a great time for giving. So I have a free gift for you from Audible. If you love books as much as I do, you'll be super excited about this, especially if you love audiobooks. Audible is something that I use to listen to my books at night. I love it when I'm winding down and getting ready to go to sleep. But of course, you can listen to audiobooks on the go. And Audible is offering you, as a Support is Sexy listener, a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook to get you started. So go to freesupportissexybook.com. Altogether, freesupportissexybook.com to sign up. You'll get access to more than 180,000 titles, and you'll get them for free for the first 30 days and get your free download. Again, that's freesupportissexybook.com. All right, so thank you as always for being here. I appreciate you. I can't wait to hear what you think about this episode. Whether you reach out or not, I'm sending you positive energy for the answers to come to you at the right time when you're clear and open and able to receive it. And I promise you, you will love once you begin to learn how to live the question. All right, so take care. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Come on back. We're going to talk about lesson 3. And until next time, I want you to remember that you deserve support. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.